Hello everyone, welcome back to All Financial Discussion channel. For this video, I actually will have two portions for discussion. The first portion, I will compare among the best S&P 500 ETF with the best highest possible return and the lowest incurred fee. So basically, this will be the first objective for my first portion of this video. I will compare VOO versus CSPX versus SPY. And from here, you will be able to determine which one actually will be more suitable for you. For me personally, CSPX seems to be my choice. And this video, I will justify why I actually choose CSPX. On my next video discussion, okay, I will mainly focus on VOO versus CSPX. So later on, you will realize that this SPY, okay, as a S&P ETF is actually mainly for short-term investment. So therefore, this channel only focus on long-term investment currently. So therefore, I only focus on VOO versus CSPX. Okay, so later on my second portion, okay, I will actually break down in deep detail. Okay, for example, the cost incurred when I actually purchase VOO or CSPX S&P 500 ETF. Okay, so I will do a simulation and I'll do a simulation based on 12 months. What will be the return if I invest one share on VOO and also one share on CSPX, and basically based on the return from there, I will be able to justify whether VOO work for you or CSPX actually work for you. Okay, so this will be this video discussion. Before I continue, guys, I'd like to urge you guys to help me by like this video. Please also encourage me by subscribing to this channel and turn on your notification bell. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. Let's quickly do a comparison between these three very popular S&P 500 ETF. The first one will be VOO. Okay, so VOO is actually issued by Vanguard. CSPX is actually by BlackRock. Okay, SPY. Okay, so in fact, this SPY is the pioneer of S&P 500 ETF, and SPY is actually issued by State Street. Okay, like I mentioned earlier on, this video I will discuss both the advantages and also the disadvantages of these three ETF so that you can do a comparison, and from here again you will be able to identify which is more suitable for you. Let's kickstart the discussion. Okay, let's do a comparison between VOO, CSPX, and SPY. Okay, so the best choice, it actually depends on your investment goals. Okay, so for example, whether you are going for long-term investment or short-term investment, okay, whether you buy frequently, okay, so which means that you buy in a very short time and you also sell in a very short time. So basically all these fall under the investment. So later on you will realize that under this investment goal, okay, most of the time if you are so-called a short term, then you will go with SPY. However, if you are for long-term investment, then you will go with either VOO or CSPX. Next, okay, is based on location. Okay, so location in simple word is whether you stay in USA or you are not staying in USA. For example, if you are staying in USA, probably VOO and SPY will be more suitable. If you don't stay in USA, probably CSPX will be more suitable for you, okay, which I will justify later on. Next will be your preference, okay, for fee, okay, for example, commission fee. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier on my later part of this video, I will do a detailed comparison between VOO and CSPX based on the fee, commission fee, for example. And then from there, okay, you will be able to determine which actually will be more suitable for you. In terms of liquidity, okay, so basically SPY will have the best liquidity, okay, which like I mentioned, I will explain shortly. Last but not least, in terms of tax efficient, okay, so this tax efficient is also classified whether you stay in US or you don't stay in US, which I will highlight later on. Let's come into the first topic of discussion, which is the expense ratio. Okay, so from here, one glance, okay, you will know that VOO seems to be the choice because it has the lowest fee, and hence I would like to declare that VOO, okay, is basically the winner for the expense ratio because they are the best in terms of the cost efficiency. But can we just say that the best S&P 500 ETF will be just VOO? It doesn't seem so, right? But at this moment, based on just the expense ratio, VOO is clearly the advantage because it has the lowest cost as compared to the other two. And from here, you can see that SPY has the highest expenditure ratio. But later on, you will realize that probably okay, we need to consider more factor before we can declare the winner for S&P 500 ETF. Next, okay, will be on liquidity. Okay, so basically it's also based on trading volume. SPY, in fact, will have the highest trading volume. Why is so important to have the high trading volume? It's because with high trade volume, okay, the bid-ask spread will be tight. Okay, so basically, if you sell your shares, okay, you will be able to get the best price, okay, because of high trading volume. And hence, because of this, I like to declare that SPY is actually the winner for liquidity and trading volume. Mainly, SPY will be good for active trader. Like I mentioned earlier on, you will buy quickly and you will sell quickly. So this is what we classify as active trader, and also they also have this option. So basically, as I mentioned, SPY will be best if you are active in terms of buying and selling. Next will be on the geography suitability. Like I mentioned earlier on, it's simply based on whether you live in USA or you don't live in USA. So for example, if you live in USA, I think VOO and SPY will be the preferred one. While if you live outside USA, probably CSPX will be the better one. Okay, since CSPX is actually from Ireland. Okay, so basically they will be much more better, okay, for international investor. For example, for me, I don't actually stay in USA. I actually stay in Singapore. So therefore, for me, seems like CSPX will be the winner. Like I mentioned earlier on, CSPX seems to be the better one for someone that don't live in USA. Next, in terms of performance and tracking error, for me, I don't think I can declare any clear winner, okay, based on the performance and also tracking error. Okay, but if I want to do so, I can only say that VOO and CSPS will be slightly better, okay, because they have lower fee. Okay, so but in short, okay, I don't think I can declare any winner because all three just simply track the S&P 500. That's all. Last but not least, in terms of tax efficiency, okay, so we come to VOO and SPY. Okay, so basically they are actually subject to US estate tax. Okay, so but CSPX, you actually don't have this US estate tax because it's actually mainly from Ireland. Okay, so therefore, okay, for international investor, it will be much more better. Okay, so therefore, the winner in terms of tax efficiency will be CSPX. Okay, since it will be the better one in terms of tax efficiency that people live outside the US. So from here, you can guess that why I choose CSPX. Since I don't live in USA, I live in Singapore. So therefore, for me, the obvious choice will be CSPX, which I will further prove on my next portion of the video. But before I go into the next portion of the video, I'd like to do a quick comparison between these three ETF, VOO, CSPX, and SPY. Okay, so VOO will be a good buy for people that actually live in USA. Okay, because if you live in USA, you will be a US investor. You actually will have a low fee, in fact, ultra low fee. And VOO will be great, okay, if you intend to buy and hold for some time. As for CXPX, okay, so this is actually benefit for those that don't live in USA. For example, like I mentioned, I live in Singapore, part of Asia. So therefore, for me, the reason why I choose CXPX will be as following. So the clear advantage will be tax efficiency. Okay, so next will be the dividend is actually accumulating. Okay, so basically this is the key advantages of CSPX. Last but not least, SPY. As I explained, for SPY is mainly for active trader, which means that you buy quickly and you sell quickly. Okay, because of the highest liquidity, okay, so you are going to have a very tight spread, and therefore this will be better. Okay, so which means that even if you don't live in USA, I think that SPY will be the preferred one. Okay, because when you actually sold the so-called shares, the chances to get a good price is much better as compared to the other two. So therefore, for me, if you think that you are actually an active trader, which means that you buy and sell quickly, then select SPY, okay, regardless whether you stay in USA or you don't stay in USA. Before I continue, guys, this is very important for me. If you have benefit from this video, please help me by like this video and subscribe to this channel. Once again, thank you so much. Let's move on to my next portion.